Hello, everybody, and welcome to Travel Lark. It is travel and coffee time. I've got my coffee, I've got notes for everything that we're going to be talking about. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I'm excited. So, a couple of things I'm going to go over just so that you know and you're thinking about your questions for later. I'm going to be talking about updates with Disneyland, what's going to be open, most importantly, what's going to be closed, as well as information on ticketing and basically what you can expect as far as that goes. A couple of things with Disney World. We're going to talk a little bit about the Disney Cruise Line and cruise lines in general because there is not a lot going on, but a lot going on, as well as the Disney Forward project, which isn't really so much a project as a hey, this is something we want to do. And we'll talk a little bit about Alani. And basically, that's most of what I already have planned. And so let's get into it, huh? All right, so Disneyland. Disneyland is currently running their ticketed event, Touch of Disney, which is running through April 19th, so about a week-ish left, where you can go into California Adventure, go to the food booths, and they'll have photo op areas to do pictures. It's looked really neat to do as someone who just enjoys being in the park. I mean, I love the atmosphere of being there, so that I didn't try for tickets. I knew me personally I wasn't going to feel comfortable going. But having seen the pictures, I probably would have been fine. But that was me personally. So Touch of Disney currently running through the 19th. Disneyland and California Adventure are set to reopen on April 30th. However, as we've talked before, it is going to have restrictions. They have a limited capacity, which is based on what tier their county is in California. And it's also going to be California residents only. And your group can consist of no larger than 3 households. So you're going to think, how are they going to verify that I am a California resident? And so I know as a travel agent, they're having me verify that everyone who I am purchasing tickets for is a California resident, and I have to verify it and I think submit I authenticate 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 that these are all California residents. But what they're doing is existing ticket holders will begin to make park reservations on April 12th, which is tomorrow. So if you happen to have a park ticket that you didn't use, that's still good, because some of them got extended for their expiration, you can start making park reservations tomorrow. You just need to go in, make sure everything's good. I suggest doing it now before trying to do that tomorrow. And if you need to buy tickets and you need a new ticket, you will be able to start doing that April 15th. And as soon as you have those tickets, make your park reservation. They're going to go fast, especially through the summer months. So that's kind of what we're looking at. California resident, limited capacity, you're going to have to make those park reservations. Existing ticket holders, April 12th. New ticket holders, April 15th. So, as far as Disney hotels for Disneyland, only the Grand Californian is going to be open at that time. It will be opening on April 29th. the Disneyland Hotel and Paradise Pier will not be opening until later. So, and that's not announced as of right now. But you do have all of the Good Neighbor hotels, all the stuff on Harbor and the surrounding area, which will be open. So, like I said, it's for me, when I was looking through the lists of everything that's going to be open, it was kind of overwhelming. And I was like, what I want to know is if the thing I want to ride is going to be closed. So I kind of went through and just was like, what's going to be closed? A lot of the little stuff, the shooting gallery in Frontierland is one of those, that type of thing is going to be closed. So in Disneyland, Buzz Lightyear, the Davy Crockett canoes, the monorail, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, Finding Nemo, Jungle Cruise, Matterhorn, Storybook Canals. That was it. The Storybook Canals. So those are the rides that are closed. The restaurants that are going to be closed in Disneyland will be Pizza Planet, Rancho del Zocolo, which makes me sad because it is my favorite, Oga's Cantina, Blue Bayou, and Carnation Cafe. Now, there are going to be other areas to eat. I mean, Tomorrowland Terrace will be open. The one in New Orleans will be open, as well as some of the smaller vendors. In California Adventure, the Animation Academy will be closed. Grizzly River Run, the Red Car Trolley, Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, and the Sorcerer's Workshop. So most rides other than Grizzly River Run will be open, which is kind of surprising compared to Disneyland, how many of them are actually closed. Although the ones that are closed, like Finding Nemo, make sense. You don't space in any way in Finding Nemo. So that's what I have for Disneyland. Disney World has, it's still just plugging along right now. There's not a whole lot of updates coming out as far as things that are happening there right now. We've got Food and Wine Festival coming up soon. And I tried to look for information on Space 220 and I didn't actually find anything. Like, the only thing I found was somebody posted about the fact that they had seen a job listing for the executive pastry chef for Space 220, and that means that they are gearing up. Once they have their executive chef and executive pastry chef, they will create their menu, hire their staff, and start practicing. So there's no news on that front, but I gotta share. I gotta go that way. It's my Sven mug today. One of the things that was happening while the park has been reopened, but some of the hotels have been closed. One of the hotels that was closed was Wilderness Lodge. It was open for DVC, but not for regular hotel bookings. And while they were closed, they actually remodeled their hotel rooms. So Copper Creek got left alone, Boulder Ridge got left alone, but their actual stuff is like, the pictures are gorgeous. I think I'm gonna have to pull those pictures and post them up on my Facebook because I actually like it. There was some like controversy on some of the thing being like, oh, they're taking all the Disney out of it. It doesn't feel rustic, but I actually really liked it, and it's very similar in its clean look, where it's that more modern rustic, and it's not as dark, so it feels very light and airy. I'll post the pictures to my Facebook. I think it's actually really cool. So that's actually all I have for Disney World right now. Disney World is just kind of doing its little thing, plugging along. So I want to talk a little bit about Disney Forward. So Disney Forward, if you go to disneyforward.com and you read through even just their homepage, you kind of get a sense for what they're doing. Or at least the sense that I got is they're saying, hey, City of Anaheim, wouldn't it be cool if we did all this stuff? We could bring so many more people and so much more revenue to the city if you would just be nice and let us do what we want to do. And some of the stuff that they want to do is really cool. A couple of the things that they've talked about that were possibilities is expanding the parks. And it's not even just, oh, well, we're going to tear something else out. Oh, we're going to lose these offices. Oh, we have to move the horses off site. It's going to be, hey, we're going to build a bridge to the other side of Magic Way and build a whole new area, which I think is actually kind of neat. And it would give them all of this space to bring things that they've already know that they already know work. And then you would know that it's like they know it works. They've put the rides up in Tokyo. They've put the rides out in Hong Kong and Shanghai. And they're like, these work. Bring them out to California. City of Anaheim, let us have the space. We're going to put in this Frozen Land. We're going to put up the Tron coaster. We can put up that really cool haunted Phantom Manor that's in, what, Paris? The rides work, and they're amazing. And California deserves to have just as cool state-of-the-art rides without losing the classics, because that tends to be what they have to do here. So Disney Forward, interesting. I love the idea of expanding the parks into the other side and the idea of surrounding Paradise Pier, which seems so far away, with California Adventure, which would actually be interesting if they included a park entrance for Paradise Pier. That would be cool. So on one of the other they had two other things in the Disney Forward, one which was the parking structure on the other side of Harbor, connected by a pedestrian bridge, which has been in talks, and Disney pitched to the city, and I guess the city said nope. And so they're saying, hey, we're still talking about this. And they also talked to the Toy Story parking lot, turning it into an entertainment and food area similar to Disney World's Disney Springs, where it's got a lot more going on. Just while we're talking Disneyland, I did forget to mention Avengers Campus has an opening date now, which is June 4th. And that is in the old Bugs Land area of Disneyland. No, California Adventure. Oh my goodness. And I know that. I know the difference. So I'm kind of sad to lose Bugs Land, especially now that I have a child that would actually enjoy running through and playing on all the little stuff. But the Avengers Campus looks like it's going to be cool. And I'm really hopeful for it, especially with it being just below the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and all of this stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for Avengers, sad for Bugs Land, but the space wasn't as utilized as it should have been, but the theming was gorgeous. So there's that. And okay, so Disney Cruise Line. There has been more and more going on with the cruise line world in general right now, it seems like. You've got the state of Florida suing the CDC and the government because they won't open up the cruise industry. The cruise industry has started in other countries. People, it's crazy. So, Disney Cruise Line has extended their cancellations for their U.S. cruises coming out of the U.S. through June 30th now, which is getting closer and closer to my cruise, which is, July like 11th or something. I don't even remember. It's in July. It's the second week, I think, when we're supposed to go Caribbean something. I got it booked. It's in there. I mean, I'm excited for it, but I don't think it's actually going to happen at this point. I mean, they literally have to tell them, yeah, we have to know within the next 2 weeks that, yes, it's going to sail or it's going to get canceled. All Alaska sailings have been canceled because Canada's basically said nope, and the U.S. is still saying nothing from the U.S. European cruises are canceled and through September 18th. However, Disney canceled its existing European cruises, and what they did was they started a program called Magic at Sea. So Magic at Sea is for UK residents, and they can start booking April 19th. And it's for 2, 3, and 4 night cruises for staycations departing from various locations in the UK. And it's all on board ship. There's no ports. It's just 2, 3, and 4 night sailings. And you're paying for the experience of being on the ship with the different entertainments that are allowed at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes and how that works out for them. In other news for a Disney Cruise Line, they announced the helm image for the Disney Wish will be Captain Minnie, and she is also the coin in the keel of the Disney Wish. So that's actually kind of cool. So Minnie's got her own ship now. And I'm still excited to find out which statue will be the main part of the ship. But it's going to be cool. So that's it for my notes. Oh, I even wore the ears specifically. I'm like, I've got my Alani ears and I didn't talk about Alani. So I'm actually currently working with the rest of the family and we're planning our Alani vacation, which will be in July. So we've been trying to figure out what do we want to do in Hawaii. A lot of them have been there before. So they're like, well, I want to do something that we haven't done. And I challenged myself. I said, I want to find something for Shane to do that he hadn't done before. And so I found this, and I mean, it may not be the best event, but you know what? He hasn't done it. So we'll go with that. It's actually a macadamia nut farm where they have cultural shows and demonstrations. It looked cool. I like macadamia nuts. And I think they also have coffee. And I like coffee. So with Alani right now, we've got the character meals. The character breakfasts are about to reopen. And it will only be 3 days a week. They're not doing it as a buffet like they typically would. But the character breakfasts are restarting. They've restarted in Disney World with the character meals. And it's basically they're distanced or they have plexiglass and the characters are on one side of like a half wall to keep the kids from running up. So far, it looks like it's working well for Disney World. So I'm I'm going to be interested to see how it works at Alani. I know that they've been putting characters on the luau stage during the day so that kids can go up and stand in front of the stage and get a picture with the characters. And I've also seen them do like little parties at the pool where they can block off an area so that the characters can come out. And I know when we were looking last night, Ama Ama, which is one of the few restaurants actually at Alani, it's not open yet. And I'm a little disappointed because I actually love breakfast at Ama Ama and just sitting and watching the sunrise. Well, I never get up early enough to watch the sunrise. Who's kidding? Unless I'm at work, going to work that day. I don't get up that early. But being able to watch the ocean while you're having your breakfast. I know the family wants to do dinner at sunset, which I think sounds amazing, and I'm excited for. I hope that they're open. So, now I have covered all the things I wanted to cover. Or at least I think I did. I hope I did. And I'm going to open it up for questions if I didn't answer your questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'll send you a message at another point and say, hey, I found the answer for you. Because I'm not going to try and lie. Because it'll be way too easy for you to point out, Crystal, you're lying to me. And that's never good. So, questions? Did I answer everyone completely? And you're like, oh, now I know. I'm going to go and buy my tickets for Disneyland and I'm going to book it and we're going to be good. I don't know. Looking. Anna. What have we got going on? Do hotel bookings of the Grand California begin opening up on the 15th as well? So, where did I see it? I had that written down. So, Grand Californian opens on April 29th for guests to start going into, I believe, they had started opening up reservations for DVC for Grand Californian. And I think, you know what, I'm not entirely sure. I would think that the 15th is when they're going to reopen for bookings, but I know that they're also trying to spread things out because they're trying not to overload the phone lines. The phone lines have been just so overloaded with cruise cancellations and people having to cancel and reschedule and move things. Their phones are just crazy right now. I am absolutely surprised Shane said he was able to get through to DVC this afternoon in only an hour and a half. It normally only takes 10 minutes to a half hour, if that, to get through to DVC. And there are people saying that it took them like 6 hours to get through on some days. So I'm going to look into when you can actually book Grand Californian. So right now, one of the things that I did find interesting and I didn't mention, I believe they're only selling single park tickets. And if you have a park hopper, this is Disneyland, single park tickets. But if you have a park hopper or you're able to buy a park hopper, you're only able to hop after 1 o'clock that day. And something that is consistent throughout like any Disney ticketing information is that the more days you purchase at a time, sorry, I'm like switching stuff around. That is so weird. Sorry, I went to look at my screen and it was doing something funny. There we go. And the more tickets you buy, like if you want to stay for 3 days, don't necessarily, unless they're running like you find a super deal somewhere. Like, oh my gosh, at Sam's Club, I found this great deal where if I buy them individually, the tickets are only this, and that means I'd be able to save it versus buying them through Disney for X price. Buying the 3-day ticket is usually more cost effective. If you know you're going to be there for 3 days, buy the 3-day ticket. If you know you're going to be going into the park for 5 days of your 7-day stay at Disney World, Disneyland, buy the ticket. It's going to be more expensive to add on a day later. Although sometimes if you add on the day in advance, it sometimes is cheaper. I don't know if that even begins to answer your question, but I actually haven't looked up the pricing for what it's going to be for Disneyland yet. I'm not planning on going this year as of right now, but that's a personal choice. It's just we've got a lot going on and a lot of other trips that we have planned and things to do. But like I said, in my opinion, I say find the best deal. Like I've purchased tickets through Undercover Tourist before because they had a decent deal going on. I've got it through Tickets at Work. I go for, even if it's just like $20 that I'm saving, I save the $20. It's a toy or a cookie later when I'm in the park, or a new set of ears. Actually, it won't buy a new set of ears anymore, which is really upsetting because I started collecting ears to get away from the more expensive items I was getting. DVC and points for Alani. Okay. So Alani DVC points. If you're not familiar with the Disney Vacation Club point system, each hotel has a set amount of points for the year, and they divide it up based on seasons. So it varies depending on what type of room you want to stay in and what time of year you want to go. So when we went in September a couple of years ago, it took less points than the stay that we're doing this year in June. And it's simply the difference between summer season when a lot of people go versus the fall season when not as many people go. I mean, it's not a huge points difference, but it was enough that with our tiny little contract, when I say tiny, it's 150 points, which isn't super tiny, but it's small, especially when you start looking at Alani, where there are not options for like the low point DVCs. It's harder. It's harder for us. But I mean, there's it really depends on when you want to go. If you want to go and you don't want to get as many points, I'd say go in the spring, in those shoulder seasons, like not during a holiday and not like in the bulk of summer. So, I was about to be like, hey, let me grab my phone and look up that information about the Grand Californian. I'm actually using my phone as my webcam today. I was trying to see if the camera looked better than my previous videos. I don't know if it's any better or worse or the same. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, because yes, Travis actually knows a lot more about the points. I actually don't know how many we're using for our studio, but it's more than 150, I think. Because we had to borrow. I think we're close to 180, 200 points for 9 nights. I don't even know how long we're staying. We're there the 14th to the 22nd, which I think is like eight nights. I don't know. That's why I have calendars. Look at me being like, I'm a travel agent. I know stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know when I'm going places. I have a calendar for that. I keep everything written down so I don't have to always remember it right off the top of my head. That's why I make lots of notes when I want to actually be able to tell somebody something factually, because I'm not going to always remember. Yeah, the studios, especially in like January and February or September and October before Halloween, those times are much better as far as point cost. Do we have any other questions while I drink my coffee? It's my coffee dance. It's my Disney coffee dance is actually what it is. Disney coffee. Disney coffee. I can see, like, because there's the still like the 5-second delay, I can see myself doing my funny little dance. I'm cracking myself up, and I don't even know. Yeah, Travis is really like, Travis and Janice know a lot more about the ins and outs of DVC than I do. I've only been a DVC member since March of 2018, and I've only gone on two trips with my DVC points. Once to Alani and once to Disney World. So, I kind of want to use the points to go somewhere like super fun though, and use them for like the Disney collection and be like, I'm going to go to Hong Kong, because that's not always the best use of the points, but I want to go to Hong Kong or Shanghai, Tokyo Disney Sea and Tokyo Disney. I'm just going to mark all the that's going to be my next thing for my wall, is the Disney parks like bucket list. That was actually something else we were going to talk about today, is bucket lists. So that's next. So they have like the little like mark them off as you visit them, and so I could mark off, I've been to Walt Disney World, and if you want to get specific, like each of the parks individually, because I haven't actually been to either of the water parks at Disney World. Then you can be like Disneyland, California Adventure, and then you've got like Hong Kong Disney, and yeah. I want to go to all the parks. Just like Travis and Janice want to be on all the ships, and I just want to be on more than one in my lifetime, and the cruise line keeps telling me no. So, bucket lists. I think everybody has like this place, and it changes constantly throughout, but you're like, oh my gosh, it's the one place I would love to go, or I really want to go to this place because, and maybe it has something to do with a movie you've seen somewhere, or some book you've read, or books in some cases, like you have a lot of books that you love that take place in the same place. But people always have, and it can be broad, like, I want to go to England. I want to go to England because so many of the books I love, so many of the, like, the Jane Austen and the Jane Eyre, and all of these like classic books took place there, which is another reason that I want to go to like Boston and over there to see the different areas where Little Women took place. No, it's not actually Boston. They're from Concord, which I think is also. Anyways, I want to go there. I want to go to like Williamsburg. I love history, so I love going places with a lot of history, and that's why Shane and I have it on our list. We want to go to Ireland, and that is still hopefully in our plan for the 5-year anniversary. We're working on 3 years. 3 years this year, 4 years next year. Yeah, you know how years work. So 2023, Ireland, that's the goal. It's the goal. But I really feel like, especially if it's going to be a big trip like that, you have to set that goal and have something to like save up for. Because for me, big trips like that to me, that's a place I've never been, but I've always wanted to go. So it gives me time to research and look it up and find out all the best deals. And I really want to make the most of my trip. And I want to make sure that anybody who goes somewhere new they get what they want out of whatever trip it is in the amount, realistically, within the time that they have in whatever location it is. Well, we are coming up on 40 minutes of me talking. And goodness knows, that's a lot of me talking. Yes, the bigger ships are going to be amazing. I'm really excited because if this ship, this is what happens when I just sit and talk too much. I'm not a talker, which is funny because now I'm doing this and I'm doing live streams. If our July trip goes and we're on the Fantasy, it is a much bigger ship. And I'm really excited. I mean, I've been on bigger ships, but not the bigger Disney ships. Because when I was on the Royal Caribbean ship in 2017, going to the Mediterranean, that one was a bigger ship. And it was fun. I had a blast. But there is a definite difference in onboard activities when you're sailing between, or at least for things that I would enjoy, between like the Royal Caribbean and the Disney Cruise Line. But I mean, if all you're looking at is you have a room, oh my gosh, I would love to actually do a side-by-side comparison of like the Royal Caribbean ship that I took to Greece in the Mediterranean compared to the small ship of the Disney Wonder. I know it was bigger. I wonder if I can minimize any of these things. Yes, I can. I've got 2 screens and all of these things happening on all of my screens. Royal. I think it was the Odyssey of the Seas. I don't know. No, it can't be the Odyssey of the Seas because it looks like it's not even built yet. I don't even know. It was one of the ships. Maybe it was the Brilliance. Mediterranean cruise. There we go. So it was definitely the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. I know that. And it went to some really cool places. That I also know. I'm searching through the internet stance. Anyways, I can't find it right now. I don't even remember what ship it was. And currently, this is not helping me. I know that it was a heck of a lot cheaper for my 12-night Royal Caribbean cruise than it is for most of the Disney cruises that I've been on. However, I will say the activity level and all of that, it for me and the things that I enjoy, Disney Cruise is better for me. But you are paying a premium for that. So I'm looking at out of Barcelona. I don't think it was the Vision of the Seas, but the Vision of the Seas is what's currently doing the same sailing that I did. I can't see if you guys are just sitting there being like, Crystal, we don't care anymore. So, too bad. Why is it not just telling me like how many people fit on that ship? Overview. I do. Oh, question from Christina. Am I able to book non-Disney vacations and cruises? Yeah. Yeah, I actually just had I have a client that is returning today from Cabo San Lucas, where they went to an all-inclusive and did some excursions, like an ATV ride and all of these things that I'm like, wow, they went on like a little city tour and a tequila tasting. So fun. So they went to Cabo San Lucas, and I have somebody who's going to Cancun next month. No, 2 months from now. And yeah, so I've been doing some trainings for Virgin Voyages, which is an all-adult cruise line, but it's very like eco-conscious, and it's got an upscale feel without that super upscale price tag, but it's also very much an adult party boat. I'm actually pretty excited about it. It looks really fun and really cool. And everything that I'm learning about them, from the way that they treat their customers and everything, that seems really top notch and really in line with the kind of things that I would enjoy. So I'm probably going to recommend them for a lot of stuff if it fits that person's personality. But I mean, I can book anything pretty much that I can get my hands on. If you want to go there, I will find a way. And if I can't book it for you, I will tell you. Or if I know somebody else who will be a much better person to work with, because that's what they do, and it's going to be too complicated for me, I will pass it off and be like, here, you help them because you are going to give them everything that they need. But yes, I can book just about anything. I mean, I don't just do Disney. I love Disney, and I talk about Disney because most of the people that I know right now really love Disney. But if you have questions about non-Disney things, like I've been posting a lot on my Instagram lately about Alaska, and part of that is because I have my very good friend booked a cruise for Alaska for next year. And it got me really thinking about my trip to Alaska and how much fun I had. And so I was like, I'm really going to focus on some of the Alaska stuff for a bit. And then I'm going to turn my thoughts towards what's coming up next for me, which I've got the possible July cruise to the Caribbean. And then I've got a cruise coming up in November to, I think it's considered Southern Caribbean, so Cozumel and those. Yeah, Christina, we've been saying girls cruise, and we've been saying girls trip to Disney World, so we just need to make it happen. We're gonna have to make it happen. And I totally got distracted because I was looking up that. You know what? They don't want me to know how many people are on that ship. I'm still on that. I'm totally still on it. Like tech plans. Why don't they just tell me how many people can fit in their ship? I bet I could just Google capacity of Vision of the Seas instead of trying to go through their website and do things the hard way. Why do I do things the hard way? 2,435 passengers. I think Disney Wonder's in the 1,000 mark. Yeah, 1,700. See, that's so much easier. Why do I do things the wrong way? Not the wrong way, the hard way. The more challenging, the more complicated steps. Okay, so I've started rambling. So I think it is time for me to start closing out our little chat. I actually really enjoy these. That's why I signed up for the Zoom meetings. If you just want to sit and talk, like Mike, if you want to sit and talk and actually go through and plan out stuff, sign up for a meeting. And it'd be great. You and me and Shane and Amber, we can sit and chat and actually figure out like cost breakdowns and what would be most beneficial for you guys with specifics. Or Christina, if you really want to go on another Carnival cruise, let me know. I mean, booking for 2020 right now is getting really strong. People are booking because people are done with being at home and they're ready for next year when they're all vaccinated and the world is opened up again to go out and do stuff. So if you're ready to go, like I'm ready to go, you can sign up for a meeting and we can chit chat about it and figure out maybe what you want to do. I mean, maybe you don't know where you want to go or when, but you have an idea and maybe I can help you figure it out. So the link for my calendar is going to be in the description of this YouTube. And it's also on my Facebook page. And it's also on my website. And it's also up there. Well, my email and my website is at least. So, yeah. Was I on the Brilliance and not the Vision? It's still quite a few. It's still quite a difference. I don't even know what ship I was on. I know I was on the 12-night cruise. Yeah. So the Brilliance and the Vision of the Seas are going to be more in line with the big ship feel. I liked the small ship feel. I'm not gonna lie. I liked being on the small ship. It was nice. So yeah, okay. I'm done. I've talked for a long time. I have talked myself out. And I'm gonna go and hug my baby because I think she's up now. I think I heard Shane, get her up. Because I've been at work until 4. Well, I got off at 3. Got home at 4. So, that is all from me. Thank you, Travis. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited about being able to just give information, and I don't want to get too salesy on you. That's not what I'm about. I want to share information and talk about travel. I just want to know what other people want to see. I mean, if you have ideas for things that you would love to see me cover, or places you'd like to see me research and be like, hey, I'm thinking about going somewhere specific. Like, oh my gosh, I really want to go to Norway. I want to go to Norway. What do you know about Norway? And I'll be like, oh, well, let me look. I've never been to Norway. So, you know what? Challenge me. Throw something at me. Tell me. No, literally throw something at me. That's my child's job, apparently. Let me know. And I'd be happy to look things up because I love researching. Anyways, okay. Thank you, everyone. It's been fun, and I drank all my coffee, and now I'm ready to go hug my baby. All right, guys. Bye.